Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync your KW Command Rainmaker account to Google Sheets so that all the contacts, all the leads you have in KW Command for your entire team can get added to a Google Sheet on an ongoing basis. It's going to create a real-time mirror of the work you and your team are doing in KW Command in a spreadsheet so that you can run reports, create charts, do a ton of awesome things, and also it's always up to date. So anytime you open up that spreadsheet, it's going to have all the new contacts you've added, all the contacts you've been working on in KW Command. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we are in Google Sheets, and this is kind of what you're going to get. It's going to get a spreadsheet of all the contacts with all the information, names, emails, contact information, tags, contact types, source, all this stuff is going to get added to a spreadsheet on an ongoing basis without you having to do anything, so that you can create little filters, create graphs, all the fun stuff involved in a spreadsheet. You can even plug this spreadsheet into another free product from Google. It's called Looker Studio, and Looker Studio will help you create an awesome dashboard from the information in your Google Sheet, which is your KW Command. So a lot of awesome options here. Let me show you how to set up this sync to get your real-time spreadsheet. The first thing you're going to do is hop into KW Command, and you're going to click on the Marketplace logo here to find the sync. In the Marketplace, you can just search for Google Sheets, and you're going to see a few different products. You're going to want to find the one with the tile that looks like this. It looks like the Google Sheet puzzle piece connected to KW Command, and below it, it says Rainmaker Teams. That way you can get your entire team's contacts and leads into that spreadsheet for you to use. So once you find that, purchase it, and it'll live here in My Apps. When you're ready to set it up, just click on the tile in your My Apps. It's going to take you out to API Nation to go ahead and set up this sync. Very simple, just a couple things you want to consider here. You're going to set up a sync. Most people want this one, KW Command to Google Sheets, so I'm going to click on that. We also have options to set up a Google Sheet into KW Command, to post a note to KW Command, or we also have one to set up a Google Sheet into KW Command contacts. I'm going to show you how to set up both of these and what they're used for. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue to set up, and it's going to create all three of these. You don't have to use all three syncs, but I'm going to show you what they all do and how to set them up. Hit continue to set up. The first one we're going to focus on is KW Command to Google Sheets, but before we do that, we got to select the accounts involved. So first we're going to choose our KW Command account. You can see we have a personal account and a team account. We're choosing the team account because we want to sync all of our team's contacts. I'm going to hit select on that. And then it's going to ask which Google account should this get synced to. So let's go ahead and find the Google account here. So I'm going to go ahead and connect a new one. So I hit connect, and it's going to ask me which Google accounts of the one I have on my browser do I want to use. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. That's where it's going to save these spreadsheets in the Google Drive attached to that Google account. Allow the sync. All right, so we've connected both apps. I'm going to confirm I'm creating these syncs. Once I hit confirm, they're going to show up in the draft area of the My Syncs part, and that's where this is going to take me next. Okay, so you see we have the three syncs now available in draft. They just need to be set up and activated. Let's start with this one, KW Command to Google Sheets. Super easy to set this up. This is just going to pull everything from KW Command and drop it in a spreadsheet. And again, this is happening on an ongoing basis. So as you continue to add contacts, as you update contacts, they're going to end up in that spreadsheet. And if you have reports pulling from that spreadsheet, they're going to be always up to date. So just a couple options here. Do you want to sync all contacts? Generally, people do. They want to get everybody who's in KW Command pushed into Google Sheets. If for whatever reason you only want to start pushing contacts that you add today going forward, just uncheck this box. Like I said, most people want all the contacts. You're going to name your sheet. So remember what you name it so you can find it in Google Drive later. I'm going to call this KW Command Team Contacts, or contacts for my entire team. If you wanted to filter out some contacts, like maybe you want to create a spreadsheet, and we have some agents and brokers and market centers who do this. They say, you know what? I'm creating a special spreadsheet that I'm handing to my marketing team to send some material to. So instead of having your marketing team hop into KW Command and try and find people in there, you can instead just have a special spreadsheet created, share that spreadsheet with them, And then you can set up a filter like marketing. And then as you tag contacts and leads in KW command, they'll automatically get added to that spreadsheet. So we have people do it for marketing. We'll have people do it to send, gifts, champagne, something like that. They'll just tag it with champagne. They have an admin looking at the spreadsheet. And when somebody gets added to the champagne list, they know to send champagne. I'm going to go ahead and remove the filter for now. That way I can get everybody in there. I just kind of want all my contacts and leads in there. And you can see it's going to pull all this information from KW command and put it in this spreadsheet. So a ton of awesome stuff. Description, source, all the tags, the owner ID, the name, all that's going in the spreadsheet. I'm going to activate that sync. Okay, so now that's happening. It's going to pull over batches from KW command and start building that spreadsheet. Now let's go back to my syncs and we're going to work on those 2 other workflows. There they are. And these 2 are awesome, super powerful. But if you are just trying to pull stuff out to Google Sheets, you're already done. You're already ready to go. I'm going to show you these 2 just in case these can also help your business. The first one is Google Spreadsheets to KW command. So what this is if you have contacts sitting in a spreadsheet somewhere, you've always wanted to sync them into KW command, or we have some market centers who have a Google form where contacts are filling out a Google form. All their information is getting put into a Google sheet, and they want that Google sheet getting fed into KW command. This is how you would do that. So I'm going to click on this, and you can see here we are. We're going to create a sync that's creating a Google sheet and pushing it into KW command. First thing it's asking for is a spreadsheet URL. So you can just hop into your Google Drive, find the spreadsheet you want to sync into KW command, the spreadsheet full of contacts, and we'll help you sync that in there using our awesome mapping and filters. If you're doing something like a form, you'll just go over that form. So let me come over here. So let's say I have a form here and I'm going to create a very simple one. Let's use this job application template. Pretty quick. I'm just first going to change this to get rid of this. Okay. And we're going to do name. Command has first and last name. So I'm actually going to split this just to make my life easier. I'm going to do first name, first name, and do a last name. There we go. So first name, last name, email, phone number. So there we go. The form is now all set up. First name, last name, email, phone number. Be aware, if you want this to sync into KW command, you need a first and last name and either an email or a phone number. You can't just put a name in there. You can't just put an email in there. You need a combination of a name and an email or a name and a phone number. So this looks good. I'm going to go over here to responses, click link to sheets, create a new sheet that's called real estate interest leads, and create. So you might have already had your form. You might have already created it. Just in case you hadn't, that's how you do it. Once you have created the form, once you've created the spreadsheet, grab the URL and go back to API Nation and paste it in there. Now that URL is in there, now all this other stuff will pull information from there, and it'll show you can filter stuff and you can map stuff. One important thing, because you're the Rainmaker, the people who are filling out this form and getting put in KW command, you get to assign them to agents. So you have a couple options. You can either use the lead routing rules you've already set up, just check this box, or you can go ahead and manually assign it to an agent like that. Don't forget to put in the source, Google Forms, and this source kind of informs the lead routing rules and will also show up in KW command as the source. Come on down here to mapping. We do most of this for you, especially if it's named pretty similarly. First name, last name. I'm going to go ahead and throw that email and phone in here. Email and phone number. There we go. If you wanted, you could come on down here to tags and tag this as RE interest form. Something like that, just in case there's something special you want to set up for these clients. Activate this sync. So there we go. We've now set up this sync that's capturing contacts from a form, automatically adding them into KW command. So if you have a form out there using Google Forms, Typeform, some other form builder that automatically syncs out to a Google Sheet, you can feed those people into KW command without you having to do anything. The last sync we're going to touch on, also pretty similar, you can post a note to KW Command. So let me show you what this does. So I'm going to open it up. Again, it's going to ask for a spreadsheet URL. And I'm going to go back to forms again. And what this sync does allows you to write a note on a contact. So hopping back to KW Command, over here on the right-hand side are the notes. So you can have a spreadsheet automatically adding notes to your contact. And how agents are using this is they will create another form or something else. And what they'll simply do is if they're requesting some specific information that they want added to their notes, they can either send this form to the client or somebody else, and they can add that information into KW Command themselves. So let's say you're building out more information about the client and you want to know how soon do you want to move? Especially ahead of time, maybe you're doing a call with them tomorrow and there's some questions you want them to fill out ahead of time. It'll be in the notes, all the information they fill out in this form. So I could just put this together, timeline, now, next week, 1 to 3 months, etc. So there we go. I have the question. You absolutely need to get their email, because if you don't have their email address, we are not going to be able to match it up. We're not going to be able to match that note to the contact in KW Command. That also means that the person you're having fill out this form has to already exist in KW Command. So if you give this form to somebody who's not currently in your database and they fill it out, it's not going to sync in there. We're not going to know where to put the notes. So the contact has to exist and the email has to be attached to this form. So this looks good. I'm going to make email required. You can even do something like response validation and say that it is text is an email, just to make sure they're actually putting a legitimate email in there. So this looks good. I am going to get ahead and put in the responses. Again, link to sheets, timeline, form, and create. And there's the answers for this form. So if I go through, for example, we're going to fill it out as Alyssa here in 1 second. But before I do that, I'm going to set up the sync so we can see how it works. So let's go back to API Nation, go to the sync. It's asking for the spreadsheet URL. So let's go back to the spreadsheet, grab that, hit Control C or Command C to copy, go back and paste it in there. It's going to get the information. All right. Let's come down here to mapping. This is where the important stuff happens on this sync. You're going to want a note title, note details, the email, and if you happen to have the phone to help us match it, that would be great as well. So let's start with the note title. I'm going to go ahead and title this, "What is your timeline?" And that note title is going to show up on your contacts here up top. It's got to be pretty short. There's only a few characters available for the title, so don't make it super long. So that's the title, the note details. I'm going to just put timeline, colon, and then I'm going to put the answer. So that timeline answer. And then over here, I'm going to put the email. Don't forget to add the email. Otherwise, we're not going to know who to add these answers to. That's how we're going to know how to match up the answers, put the note on which contact. So this is all ready to go. I'll activate this sync. And you can see now, let me grab this email address. Go over here to the form. I'm going to fill it out real quick. I want to move next week. My email, submit. There we go. So let's say that person filled it out. That information goes in here. And the sync fires within about 10 to 15 minutes. We go back to KW Command. Refresh the contact. And then we'll see. There's the note. The note has been added. What is your timeline? Timeline next week. So that when you hop on the phone with them later today, later tomorrow, the information they filled out on that form is readily available here in your notes. So that's it. That's how you connect your KW Command Rainmaker account to Google Sheets to have all your team's contacts synced into that Google Sheet. You can set up forms, you can create a dashboard, and then you can also sync Google Sheets back into KW Command have all those leads assigned using the lead routing rules, and you can even have notes synced into KW command, send out a form, have people answer the information. It'll automatically create the notes. You don't have to do it. It's going to save you a ton of time, give you much richer contact notes, and allow you to create more deals. If you need any assistance setting this up for you or your team, go to apination.com/KW. There you can call us, send us an email, and even set up a live session of support. We're API Nation, connecting the world's applications. We love doing this stuff.